It's a good bottle of water. And I'm going to need it for this Raw review. After what we just saw. After the Raw that we just saw. Because WWE pretty much just told us a big portion of what Backlash is going to be. Half of Backlash, more than likely, is laid out right now. Let me paint you a picture right now. Outside of the Edge and Randy Orton, which is made official, this is what's unofficial, but WWE has laid it out for us. Okay? WWE Championship on the line. Bobby Lashley going after the WWE title against Drew McIntyre, the champion. We got the Iconics versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Wouldn't surprise me a bit, wrestling fans, if WWE drug all of that rivalry out past Backlash. Wouldn't surprise me. At least till Backlash. We got Andrade and Apollo Crews. Next week, Apollo Crews is either going to win the United States Championship, or Zelina Vega and Angel Garza are going to cost him the United States Championship, and he will get a rematch at Backlash. His time is coming to capture the U.S. Championship and the burial of Andrade and the rest of Zelina's stable, which continues to deteriorate. And I hope that, that Austin Theory just goes to NXT, where he will be used much better. Will continue to just dwindle out. Angel Garza will, and Andrade will. Even though if Andrade loses the United States Championship, he needs to get built up and go after the WWE Championship. Have an actual decent rivalry with Drew McIntyre. Give us something that we can get invested in. Not Bobby Lashley. I wouldn't have a problem with Bobby Lashley being in the main event, but you haven't given us a reason to care about Bobby Lashley being in the main event. Not a bit. Yeah, not one reason at all. I like that he's with MVP right now. MVP's in a very good role. That is something that WWE's doing very well. Keeping MVP right now as a manager. Having do his talk show and having be a manager. Do that. Get a few more people under MVP in his stable. Get him a stable and keep him a manager. Let me tell you, that would build up some of the wrestlers on Monday Night Raw. Being associated with MVP. Bobby Lashley, though, right now, just being affiliated with MVP, I don't believe in him. What has he done? Beat up R-Truth? Okay, R-Truth is WWE's resident comedy act that everybody loves. He was embarrassed in the gauntlet matchup. Nobody cared about what Bobby Lashley did when he eliminated everybody. What people noticed the most is how WWE seemingly got him eliminated, which was in a very bad fashion. Him, barely touching the referee and getting DQ'd. So what has WWE done with Bobby Lashley as of late to get him to be a #1 contender for the WWE Championship? He didn't really even interfere in the match against Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre tonight. He just stood at the top and watched. So what? Oh well. Edge, Randy Orton, promises to be a very good contest. I'm looking forward to it. Is it going to be the greatest of all time? Charlie, Samoa Joe, do me a favor and stop saying that it's going to be the greatest of all time. They had Samoa Joe going on there and saying that. What else do we have to look forward to at Backlash? It looks like we're going to have Nia Jax as the #1 contender for the Women's Championship going against Asuka. And here, I even said this on Twitter, here I was hoping we would get Asuka, taking on Shayna Baszler. That would be a good matchup. Good matchup. And it would be a good feud, a very good rivalry to carry through part of the summer months at least. Didn't have to take the title right off of Asuka. You could drag it out some, maybe with a DQ or, some type of a screw finish. And then you could drop it. Put it on Shayna Baszler. Some of you are saying, well, what about Ronda Rousey? She's supposed to be coming back. Hands down. People have been saying that. People's been throwing out rumors and predictions and all that stuff. Okay. Put the belt on Shayna Baszler, have her carry it for a while, and then have a rivalry between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Wow. How awesome would that be? No, instead we see Nia Jax as Asuka's first #1 contender. We see Nia Jax come out there and seemingly just crush and ruin everything that Asuka had said last week. Now, I understand that Nia Jax is the heel, that Nia Jax is supposed to be playing off, just the fact that nobody really likes her in the wrestling community. But, whatever. Let's just cross our fingers, wrestling fans, that at Backlash, Asuka retains the Raw Women's Championship. And Vinnie Mac does not make the decision to put the title on Nia Jax. Now, moving on. Oh, and by the way, let's cross our fingers also that WWE does not make the decision to put the titles on the Iconics. Keep it on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They're in better hands. Trust me. Alright. Moving on. We have Shayna Baszler taking on Natalya tonight. Why they're facing each other again, I do not know. Probably because they don't have anybody else for Shayna Baszler to face. Natalya, a good worker in the ring, good performer in the ring, and they had a good matchup, submission matchup. But as soon as you announce that it's a submission match, we know who's going to win. Okay? We know that Shayna Baszler is going to win. And honestly, at this point, it really doesn't matter because I just got done ranting and raving about Nia Jax being #1 contender and them not doing anything with Shayna Baszler. How they book Shayna Baszler for those first couple months that she was up there kind of showed how really WWE thinks of Shayna Baszler's ability in the squared circle. I mean, on the main roster. Of course, then again, Becky Lynch just left to on maternity leave, so possibly they wanted to just keep the title on her so she could just relinquish it and not to drop it to somebody if they knew that she wanted to go and have family. Just saying. Now, if that was the case, then you should have waited to bring Shayna Baszler up. But anyway, moving on with this Monday Night Raw. WWE mentioned, I paid closer attention to what they said about the so-called brand-to-brand, invitational thing tonight. They said that the superstars could come over 4 times a year. Or something like that. Well, superstars can come over 4 times a year. Then Baron Corbin has taken away one of those. SmackDown can only send 4 superstars over 4 times a year. Baron Corbin's taken away 1. They have 3 more. 3 more opportunities, according to what this brand split thing is saying, to send superstars. And when I sit here and think about it, Raw has taken up 2 of those spots on Friday. Now how fast WWE's throwing that rule book out the window in its first week. Its first week. And as much as I would be okay with AJ Styles capturing the Intercontinental Championship, I would be fine. He captures that IC strap just like that. Bam. That rule book is out the window. That rule book is out the window, wrestling fans, because he'd have to go back and forth. And he's a Raw superstar. End the brand split completely. Just end it. Like it would really matter. If Fox and USA are letting you do this, then why don't you just end it completely? If they're letting you do this, do you honestly think they're going to care if you just end the brand split completely? Come on. Outside of everything that I just mentioned, you have Buddy Murphy and Buddy Murphy following Seth Rollins around. And he was supposed to face Humberto Carrillo. And he was supposed to face Aleister Black. Humberto Carrillo comes down and interrupts Seth Rollins' promo that Seth Rollins was cutting on Rey Mysterio. Clearly, they're setting up a Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins matchup for later on in the future. But Humberto Carrillo versus Buddy Murphy, I would love to care about and take serious. I can't. if they wouldn't have messed that matchup, I would have loved to take serious. But I can't. You know why? Because WWE does not take those guys serious. If Seth Rollins wasn't the Monday Night Messiah, I wouldn't be able to take it serious. Buddy Murphy. Because he would be wasting away, dwindling. If Rey Mysterio wasn't injured in that storyline, Humberto Carrillo would be nowhere tonight. If the coronavirus wasn't in place and certain superstars were like, hey, I want to stay at home, we probably wouldn't even see Humberto Carrillo. So, why am I supposed to take him serious? He is lower to mid-card only in WWE's eyes. And he'll probably never reach any higher than that. I hate saying it, but, you know, it just reeks of truth. Whatever. Aleister Black has some promise there, has some potential there. I want to say that Aleister Black might make it. I want to say that he'll make it. You know, you can see those superstars that's going to that'll shine. You know, I want to say that he'll make it. He'll break through. Outside of that, we saw, you know, the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders throwing axes. This is how they're building for the Tag Team Championship matchup. Probably at Backlash. And the only thing I want to say about it is, you know, on one hand, I'm glad we're not just seeing tag match after tag match after tag match after tag match. But on the other hand, I really wish they would develop like actual like storylines, like beating each other up in the back or something like that. You know, instead of just playing games and things of that nature, because that really does not build up a tag team matchup. You know, and what it builds up is, well, the Viking Raiders are better than you, or the Street Profits are better than you. They're both 50-50 booking, except they're doing it with games. That's pretty much what they've been doing. You know, because Viking Raiders won this week, Street Profits won last week, things like that. So we'll have to see what happens at Backlash when they eventually have their tag team title matchup. But wrestling fans, that was pretty much Monday Night Raw. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, remember to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe today. If you have not become a subscriber yet, I really do not know why you are waiting, because a lot of good content comes onto this channel each and every week. Whether it is my wrestling content, old school, or this era. I have a lot of wrestling content out there for you. Plus my vlogs of different things. You can go and check that kind of stuff out. It's also live on the channel right now. Check it out today. It is appreciated. So subscribe, leave me a comment, leave me a like, and everything else. And until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch all of you on the other side. Talk to you later.